So I've just completed Doom Eternal last night as of the recording of this video, and after having beaten this game, I can honestly say without a doubt in mind that this is easily one of the best games of the last 10 years. This game is near perfection. It is somehow better than Doom 2016, and that game was near perfection as well. But instead of just saying it's near perfect and amazing, how about I explain what makes it so great? So starting off with the story part of the campaign, it's nothing to write home about. It's nothing that's gonna blow your mind, but considering the type of game that this is, it makes sense for what it is. It does the job, it's there when it needs to be, and for what it is, it definitely makes the game feel a bit more cinematic than Doom 2016, and even if you don't like the small story elements of this game, considering id Tech straight up said that they want to make a Doom universe with this current continuity, you kind of have to have story elements there in order for something like this to work. You know, if you're going to have a connected universe with multiple games in it, there's got to be some elements of a story here and there, at the very least. Again, it's nothing that interferes too much, but it is there for those who do want some form of storytelling in a Doom game. And on top of that, the cutscenes, for what they are, work well as well. I'll be honest, before this game came out, I was a bit worried about the type of cutscenes that they wanted to go for with this game, because something I really liked about Doom 2016 was how it was just straightforward, right to the point. There was nothing there to interfere at all with the gameplay. But the way they do it here, it honestly works well, and I wasn't bothered at all. And it just made Doomslayer even more of a badass than he already was. That's pretty much the whole point of the story anyways, so I'm cool with it. But with the story out of the way, let's talk about the actual gameplay itself. This is so good. This is actually, this is as fantastic as it gets. Well, I said that with Doom 2016, but then you have Doom Eternal, which it's just pretty much everything that made Doom 2016's gameplay so great is just taken right from that game, expanded upon to be just straight up more fucking wild and insane than that game. It's basically Doom 2016, but on crack. And I absolutely love it for that. Although while it is practically Doom 2016 on crack, at the same time, there are some differences there. I would say the game, instead of just straight up being ripping and tearing, it definitely has a bit more thought put into it, if you get what I mean. As in the platforming sections, for example. The way that you can grab the monkey bars and move around the areas as a way to avoid getting damage, and then using your grappling hook on your super shotgun and going towards an enemy and killing them when they aren't looking at you from a direction that they weren't expecting you to come from. And adding on to that, what I also really like about it is how you can't just kill every single type of enemy in the game with one specific type of weapon. You have to learn what weapons work for what types of enemies, and what skills and tactics work best for what types of scenarios. And when you really learn how the sandbox functions and what works best with what, and what tactics work best with each scenario, and how to take down each type of enemy demon best, as a result of that, it in the end becomes extremely rewarding and satisfying. Because when you really figure out how to go about playing this game, and you really master the gameplay loop, from there, it's fucking pure nirvana. Not to say that it isn't nirvana already, like the game's fantastic from the start, immediately it's insanely fun, but when you really master the craft of being the Doomslayer, it's just so satisfying. And just like that, you are truly ripping and tearing. When you figure out how to slay any demon at all, from there you just produce the biggest nuts possible. Like, I probably nutted at least 200 times while playing this game. I'm sure that many of you that are even bigger Doom fans probably nutted at least 1,000 times, but for me, I felt that at least 200 was a very good record, and I'm hoping to break that with Doom 3, or whatever it's called, because you know that they're gonna make one. But moving on from that, something else I really gotta give props to is the level design. It is so fucking good. Just the way you're able to move around the map with abilities like dash, and then all the verticality, along with all the abilities that you have, it just makes climbing and just moving around a whole lot of fun. And going back to platforming, I know a lot of people don't exactly like it, but I'm personally cool with it because it just adds to what is already fantastic level design. And it also, I feel, really encourages what is really solid exploration in this game. It's just exploring the entire map. Personally, I didn't go for the entire map and every single level, but I did go for a pretty decent chunk of it. It's very rewarding. It just feels really good to go for all the little secrets and collectibles that you can find, whether it be you're going out of your way to find those collectibles and secrets, or you stumble across them just by exploring and having fun with the game. Also, the music? Oh my god. It's fucking god tier. It's pure heaven. It's actually perfect. It's somehow better than Doom 2016 soundtrack. It's so good. Even the main menu score is amazing. What the fuck? Oh, and another thing I want to mention is that there is a teeny bit of customization. Personally, throughout the campaign, I changed my Doomslayer from having green armor to red armor, which I thought looked pretty badass. It's just, it's really cool. I really don't have anything else to say about the single player. It's absolutely perfect. And with the 21 hours that I put into it, I'm honestly very, 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 very satisfied. I can't think of one thing in this campaign that bothered me. And I don't really say that lightly. With any game that I play, I usually always find at least one thing I don't like. I really can't find anything. The only time I may have not liked something in this game is if I was just getting frustrated because of my own stupidity when playing this game because I wasn't doing shit right. Like, maybe if I was going straight into a battle against, like, dozens upon dozens of demons in a room without actually thinking about it and moving around like you should. So, really, the only times I was frustrated, it just comes down to my own mistakes and because I wasn't paying proper attention to what I was doing within each level of the game. So basically, just know that if you are getting frustrated at all in this game, it is your own fault and you just need to admit the fact that you fucking suck. But yeah, near perfect game. Absolutely love the campaign, but that isn't all there is to it. Something else I want to mention is the battle mode and why it's honestly really underwhelming. It's nothing special at all, and as of now, it's being viewed in the same light as the multiplayer aspect of Doom 2016, but for a good reason. Now, I'll admit, I haven't put dozens upon dozens of hours into the battle mode. I've put probably an hour into it, I want to say, but considering just how shallow and pretty forgettable this mode is, I think that at most an hour is enough time to give an opinion on this mode, because there really isn't much to it. There's at most one mode, which is just, of course, 1 player Slayer and 2 player demons, and then you just go around killing each other, and that's pretty much it. And on top of that, it's just on maps that already exist within the single player, so there's even less content than there already was. But that's pretty much all it is. Like, there is some customization in there, like, you can also choose what abilities you want between each round. There's 3 rounds in this mode, and for each one, after a round's completed, whether or not you win or fail that round, you are allowed to select an ability that you want to help enhance your player experience, depending on whether you're the Slayer or the Demon. And I mean, that's cool, but that really isn't much. I mean, there's a ranking system, which is pretty Battle Pass-esque, but that's so standard now in games that it's not really a big deal. And on top of that, I think a really big issue with it is it's terribly balanced. Like, it's absolutely horribly balanced because, at least in my experience, I found that the Slayer was insanely overpowered. Like, aside from one match, and every other match that I played, it was always the Slayer that won every single one. And I think a lot of that has to do with just how much experience and how much you've mastered the gameplay loop in the single player. Because the Slayer gameplay in this battle mode is exactly the same as in the single player. And for anyone who's mastered the single player gameplay loop, they're gonna know exactly what they're doing. So while it is extremely rewarding because of that fact, at the same time, it makes it too easy because the demons, they just don't have enough to properly counter the Slayer. And even if you weren't that good at the single player, you're probably still gonna hold your own fairly well in the multiplayer whenever you're playing as the Slayer. Again, only one match where I was the Slayer I lost in. Every other match, I had no issue winning. And even matches where I was playing as demons, I got my ass handed to me, no problem, by anyone who was the Slayer. But yeah, outside of that, there isn't anything to this mode. It's extremely forgettable, and I see it dying out fairly quickly. Like, it's obviously populated right now because the game just came out, but give it some time. I think really no one's gonna be on this mode. Unless they add more to it and they balance some shit properly, then I expect this to die maybe within another week or so. But that's my opinion. I'm sure that there are some people out there that really like the battle mode, which is perfectly fine, but it just isn't for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I had fun with what I played, but that probably stems from the fact that I just really learned how the game played and just really mastered that aspect. But yeah, nothing impressive or special. But all in all, even with the very underwhelming battle mode in mind, the game is still a masterpiece. It's still absolutely fantastic, and in general, I just absolutely love it, and I cannot wait for when they put out another Doom game, because with how successful this game is, you know damn well they're going to make another one. Again, they want to make a universe out of this current continuity, so of course another game is going to be made. I expect it probably within 3 to 4 years' time, just like with this game, so probably 2023, 2024 is when we'd probably see another one. Now, I won't spoil anything, but with how batshit crazy they go with this game, I really don't know how they're gonna top it. I'm sure they'll figure out a way because id Tech is a fucking great developer, at least going by their experience with these 2 games that I've played, but even then, there's still this part of me that wonders, how can they top Eternal? How can they make something even bigger and badder than this game? Again, I'm sure they'll figure it out, but at least for right now, I'm just gonna sit here wondering, what the fuck can they do next? So overall, my final verdict for the game is must play. As in, go buy this game right now if you haven't. If you're one of the few people out there that have yet to play this game, go play it. Because if you don't, then I'm going to be under your bed tonight. And I'm going to haunt you, and I won't leave till you play it. So, you best get to playing it, because it's perfection. You see my background for this video?
So good.
The shit's perfection. So go play it. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this review. If so, then make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe for future content coming soon, and that's it. But I'll see you guys next time. Until then, I'm out. Later.